Aaron Hale lived on the quiet moon colony called Vastel, a place where blue light covered the sky even during night. People from many worlds lived there: humans, traders, workers, and warriors from different alien species. Among all of them, one pair always caught attention. A powerful alien officer named Lyra Valkesh and her gentle human husband, Aaron. They were a strange couple to everyone who saw them walk together. Lyra belonged to a warrior race known for their tall height, bright skin markings, and great physical strength. Her people fought battles across the galaxy and won almost all of them. She had trained since childhood, carried heavy armor, and protected hundreds of civilians during her career. Many respected her, but many also asked the same question quietly. Why did she marry a human who looked so weak? Aaron was different from the strong and proud people of Lyra's species. He was calm, soft-spoken, and never tried to show strength. He preferred repairing small machines, growing plants, and cooking warm meals for Lyra when she returned from long patrols. He was shorter than her, thinner than most alien men, and he always seemed gentle to a point where others thought he could not defend himself at all. Sometimes, even Lyra wondered about this difference. She trusted him, she loved him, but she still felt something strange inside her. She could stop a falling wall, fight 3 raiders at once, and carry heavy shields that even machines struggled with. But when she entered their home, she saw Aaron sitting quietly with a warm smile, asking how her day went, offering her food, and reminding her to rest. His gentle ways calmed her heart in a way strength never did. Still, there were days when she questioned the balance of their bond. How could someone like her, trained for war, live a peaceful life with someone who looked so breakable? Even Aaron sometimes stepped back when she lifted a large object, as if he already knew she would handle the hard work while he did the small tasks. But Aaron never complained. He never argued. He always tried to reduce her stress. If she returned tired, he would place a warm cloth for her hands. If she woke from a nightmare of past battles, he would sit beside her, quietly reassuring her that she was safe. He did not try to be a hero, nor did he pretend to be strong. He simply cared for her in a way no one had before. Their home was small but peaceful. A wooden table stood near the window. Tiny lights hung along the walls. It was simple, but everything inside felt warm because Aaron arranged it with patience. Lyra often watched him move around the house, adjusting things, fixing little squeaks, and she sometimes wondered how someone without weapons or power could create such comfort. One evening, Lyra returned from patrol earlier than expected. She entered the house quietly, expecting Aaron to be repairing something. Instead, she found him sitting on the floor, surrounded by tools, staring at a shining metal object she had never seen before. The object was shaped like a disc, old and covered with strange symbols. Before she could ask, Aaron quickly hid it under a cloth. His face remained calm, but his eyes showed a tiny flicker of worry. "You're home early," he said with a gentle voice, trying to distract her. Lyra frowned. "What was that?" Aaron smiled lightly. "Just something I found in the market. I thought I could fix it." "One." Lyra did not believe him fully, but she let the matter go. Maybe it was her imagination. Aaron was a simple man. He liked old things. Maybe it was just another broken item he wanted to repair. They ate dinner together: simple vegetables, soft bread, and warm herb soup. Lyra noticed that Aaron watched her a few times with a thoughtful look, as if he wanted to say something but stopped himself. She wondered if she should ask again, but she did not want to force him. If he wanted to share something, he would. Later that night, the sky outside their window turned red. At first, Lyra thought it was the usual glow from the nebula, but then an alarm rang across the entire colony, a deep warning signal used only for the most dangerous threats. Aaron immediately stood up. "What's happening?" Lyra walked to the window and saw ships entering the sky. They were not from any known empire. Their shape was sharp, metallic, and they moved like hunting creatures searching for prey. Lyra's heart tightened. "Rogue machines," she whispered. "They've arrived." She rushed to put on her officer armor. Aaron helped her fasten the shoulder plates with steady hands. "How bad is it?" he asked, worry filling his voice. "It could be serious," she replied. "These machines attack colonies for resources. They adapt quickly. They learn how to defeat defenses." Aaron's eyes darkened for a moment. "Then let me come with you." Lyra stopped what she was doing. She turned to him and held his hands firmly. "Aaron, you can't fight them. You could get hurt. Please stay here. Hide in the safe room until I return." He lowered his head but did not argue. "I understand." She saw something in his eyes again, something she could not name. It was not fear. It was not weakness. It was more like a deep sadness mixed with hesitation. She wondered why he looked like that when she asked him to stay safe. Lyra touched his cheek gently. "I will come back," she said with confidence. "You don't need to worry." Aaron nodded, but his expression did not change. It was as though he carried a secret that weighed heavily on him. Lyra grabbed her spear and ran toward the colony gates. Alarm lights flashed. Families rushed to emergency shelters. Officers prepared to defend the walls. The sky filled with machine ships, their cold blue lights scanning everything below. When Lyra reached her squad, she immediately took command. Her strong voice guided the others. "Form 2 defensive lines. Protect the civilians. Keep distance and observe how the machines adapt." Her people trusted her experience. She had faced many dangers before, but this attack felt different. The machines moved with frightening speed. They landed across the colony and started breaking through buildings in search of energy. Lyra fought without hesitation. Her spear glowed as she struck machine after machine. But for every one she destroyed, 2 more appeared. Their armor changed shape, learning how to resist her attacks. Meanwhile, Aaron remained inside the house as she asked, but not for long. As soon as Lyra disappeared into the distance, he walked to the hidden cloth on the table. He lifted it slowly, revealing the silver disc again. His fingers brushed the symbols, and faint blue light glowed beneath his touch. He had hoped he would never need it. He had hoped Lyra would never see it. But the danger outside was too great, he whispered to himself. "I didn't want this life again." He walked toward the basement door and opened it carefully. A narrow staircase led down to a forgotten passageway that most people did not know existed. Only someone with a specific map and specific blood could enter the chambers below. Aaron stepped inside, locking the door behind him, and began moving through the dark tunnel. Above him, Lyra fought hard. She shouted orders, protected her team, and stopped falling debris from crushing civilians. But the machines kept coming. And even she felt pushed to her limits. She worried about Aaron every second. She wanted to believe he was safe. Yet something inside her whispered that he was not where she told him to stay. The battle grew worse. One machine ship fired a powerful beam that destroyed an entire street. Officers struggled to hold their positions. For the first time in years, Lyra felt fear, not for herself, but for Aaron. What if the machines reached their home? What if he was alone? She pushed herself harder, clearing a path to move civilians away. Her heart hammered with worry. She could not stop thinking about him. At the same time, beneath the colony surface, Aaron reached a massive sealed door. Strange ancient lights glowed on its edges. He pressed his palm against it. The symbols brightened, scanning his hand. The door opened slowly with a deep hum. Inside the chamber stood something he had hoped to never touch again. A glowing suit connected to an old power source. The Halo Core. A forgotten artifact from humanity's ancient past. As the machines tore through the colony above, Aaron whispered with regret, "Forgive me, Lyra. I wanted to live a quiet life. But I can't let you face this alone." He stepped forward toward the suit as the chamber lights surrounded him. The gentle man the colony knew was about to disappear, and someone far more powerful was about to wake. Deep under the colony, the old chamber glowed faintly as Aaron stepped forward. Dust rose with every slow movement he made, showing how long this place had been untouched. The walls were covered with ancient human symbols, the kind that only a few historians had ever seen. But Aaron did not need a translator. He understood every line because he had been taught their meaning when he was a child, taught in secret, away from everyone, even away from Lyra. The suit stood in the center of the room, tall and silent. Its surface looked like metal but shined like glass. Thin lines of blue energy pulsed inside it like a sleeping heartbeat. Aaron placed his hand on the chest of the suit. It reacted instantly. The lights grew brighter, and soft vibrations spread through the floor. A calm voice, neither male nor female, spoke from the walls. Key carrier recognized. Activation sequence allowed. Aaron closed his eyes tightly. He whispered to himself, "I promised I would never use this again." His voice trembled slightly, not from fear but from the heavy memories he carried, the kind he never wanted to share with Lyra. He wanted her to see him as a simple man who fixed machines and made warm soup, not someone connected to a forgotten power. But above him, the colony screamed in danger. He could hear the distant tremors whenever the rogue machines attacked. He imagined Lyra fighting alone, pushing herself until her muscles burned. That thought alone gave him the strength to continue. The suit opened from the back with a soft hiss. Inside, a blue hollow shape waited for him. He stepped in. At first, cold energy touched his skin, and he felt a rush of old training memories returning to him. Memories he had buried deep. The suit closed around him. The lights synchronized with his heartbeat. "Harmonic shield core online," the voice said. "Warning. Activation reduces host lifespan." Aaron took a deep breath. "I know," he whispered. "Just give me enough time to protect her." Energy flooded the suit, creating a glowing mantle around him. His gentle appearance slowly faded under layers of ancient technology. When he walked out of the chamber, blue light followed him, illuminating the old tunnel. He was no longer the simple human husband the colony knew. He was the last trained key carrier of the Halo Corps. Above ground, Lyra continued fighting with everything she had. Her spear clashed against the machines, sending sparks flying. Her arms ached, her armor cracked, and her lungs burned. But she refused to stop. The civilians needed her. Her squad needed her. And Aaron, she kept thinking of him, hoping he was safe. But the machines were learning too quickly. Every time she destroyed one, another adapted to her attack. They began using energy pulses to knock down buildings. Lyra saw people trapped behind fallen walls, children crying, officers shouting for help. She ran toward them, jumped over rubble, and pushed debris aside with her strong arms. As she lifted a heavy metal sheet, a little human girl hugged her leg, crying. Lyra knelt down. "You're safe now," she said gently. The girl reached out and touched Lyra's glowing skin markings with awe. Lyra managed a soft smile despite the chaos around her. But her smile disappeared when a machine ship descended from above. It charged a strong energy beam aimed at the civilians behind Lyra. She screamed, "Move!" and jumped in front of them with her shield up. The beam hit her with full force, throwing her back several meters. She groaned, struggling to stand. Her armor smoked. Her hands shook. Still, she stood again. Her people always stood, no matter how strong the enemy. But deep inside, she knew she could not protect everyone alone. The machines were too many. Their weapons were too advanced. Her squad was running out of energy cells, and backup forces were far away. She was losing ground. Then, something changed. A deep, strange humming filled the air. The wind shifted. Dust lifted into spiral patterns. The machines paused for a moment, as if they sensed something they had not predicted. Lyra looked up and saw a glowing blue figure walking through the smoke. At first, she thought it was another machine. The shape was tall, bright, and surrounded by a dome-like shield that shimmered with energy. But then it stepped closer, and she saw human boots beneath the glowing layers. Her heart stopped. "Aaron," she whispered. The figure emerged fully, and Lyra saw his face inside the transparent layer of the suit. It was him, her gentle husband. But now he moved with confidence, each step strong and steady. His eyes glowed faintly with the same energy as the suit. Lyra could not move for a moment. Shock held her still. This man, her quiet, peaceful husband, was walking through falling debris as if it were nothing. Every blast fired at him dissolved before touching him. His shield bent the attacks like air-bending light. What is this?" she breathed. Aaron approached her, his voice calm even in the chaos. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I never wanted you to see this side of me." Before she could respond, the machines shifted direction. They stopped attacking random buildings. Instead, they all turned toward Aaron. Their eyes glowed red. Their weapons recharged quickly. They had found their real target. Aaron stepped in front of Lyra automatically, raising a hand. A wave of protective energy spread around them, blocking the incoming shots. Lyra watched in disbelief. She had always been the strong one in their marriage, the protector. Now her husband stood shielding her with a power she had never imagined. "Aaron," she said, her voice trembling between awe and fear. "What have you been hiding from me?" Before he could answer, a machine projected glowing text in the air. The words were not in any known language, but the suit translated them instantly. "We have found the key carrier. Priority target located." Lyra's heart pounded. "Key carrier? What does that mean? Why are they after you?" Aaron didn't turn to her. His eyes stayed on the approaching machines. "I'll explain everything later," he said quietly. "Right now, I need to keep you safe." He stepped forward, and the shield expanded. Machines fired repeatedly, but their attacks bent around him, curving away like water around a stone. He raised his hand again, and a strong wave pulsed outward, throwing several machines off their legs. Lyra watched him fight and felt something strange, a mix of relief and fear. She knew he wasn't hurting the machines, he was only disabling them. Even with this power, he stayed gentle. That was the Aaron she loved. But she also saw exhaustion forming in his movements. The suit's glow flickered slightly with every strong pulse. Something was wrong. The machines retreated a few meters and began forming a new formation, preparing a focused strike. Lyra grabbed Aaron's arm. "We have to move! They're trying to capture you!" Aaron nodded. The shield opened a path through the debris, and together they ran toward safer ground. Lyra guided him through streets she knew well, pushing aside rubble while Aaron blocked any explosions behind them. As they reached a lower-level storage area, Lyra turned him around firmly. "Aaron, you have to tell me what's happening. What is that suit? Why are the machines hunting you?" Aaron looked down. His voice softened. "I was trained for this when I was young. My family passed down the Halo core, an ancient human technology. Only someone with my bloodline can activate it." Lyra stared at him, stunned. "So you're not powerless, you were pretending." He shook his head gently. "I wasn't pretending. I chose to live simply. I didn't want to be a weapon. I just wanted a quiet life with you. Being never. I wasn't Problement. I wasn't pretending." Her eyes softened, but fear still remained. "Aaron, this suit. It drains you. Doesn't it?" He hesitated for a moment before nodding. Lyra grabbed his hands. "Then we find another way. I won't let you sacrifice yourself." Before she could say more, the machines broke into the lower levels. Their red lights filled the corridor. Lyra raised her spear. Aaron raised his glowing shield. Together, side by side, they prepared to face whatever was coming next. The lower corridors of the colony shook as the rogue machines advanced closer. Their metallic footsteps echoed like thunder inside the narrow underground passages. Red scanner lights swept across the walls, searching for any trace of movement. Lyra stood in front of Aaron, her spear pointed forward, ready to fight. Aaron stood behind her with the glowing Halo core shield surrounding them both. For a moment, everything fell silent. It was the kind of silence that came before something terrible. Lyra whispered. "They're reorganizing. They're trying to trap us." Aaron nodded. The faint blue light from his suit flickered, and Lyra noticed it again, the little tremble in his hands. The way his breathing grew heavier each minute. She hated seeing that. She hated knowing the suit was hurting him, even while it helped him protect everyone. A loud metallic shriek cut through the silence. The machines burst into the corridor. Their shapes were larger now, reinforced with thicker armor. They had adapted again. They no longer moved like simple attackers, they moved with purpose. As if following a plan, Lyra tightened her grip. "Stay behind me." Aaron stepped forward anyway. "No. I need to block the first wave." Before she could argue, he raised his hand. The shield expanded outward, forming a bright wall of energy that covered the entire width of the corridor. The machines fired at it. But the attacks curved away in spirals of blue light. Sparks rained down on the ground, but each attack made the shield flicker more, Lyra noticed. "Aaron, stop. You're pushing too hard." He shook his head. "If they get close, they'll overwhelm us." Lyra gritted her teeth in frustration. She knew he was right. But she also knew he was hurting himself. She needed to think fast. The corridor was too small for her usual fighting techniques. The machines were too many. And Aaron could not keep the shield up forever. She stepped beside him. "Then we do this together." Without waiting for approval, she launched forward. She spun her spear in a narrow arc and pierced the chest of the nearest machine. It collapsed instantly. Another machine rushed her, but she ducked under its arms and stabbed upward, hitting its power core. She fought fast, her armor scraping against the sharp walls. Aaron protected her from the back with bursts of harmonic energy. When a machine tried to jump at her from above, Aaron released a wave that pushed it back like a leaf in strong wind. She glanced at him briefly. Even in the middle of battle, his eyes were calm, focused, not angry, not violent. Only determined. That was the part she loved about him the most. His strength came from protecting others, not from wanting to destroy. But the machines were learning again. They began firing beams that bent around the edges of Aaron's shield, slipping into blind spots. One of them struck Lyra's shoulder and sent her sliding back across the floor. She groaned, pushing herself up. Aaron rushed to her side. "Are you all right?" She nodded, though her shoulder armor was cracked. "I've taken worse hits." But Aaron looked worried. Too worried. She could see in his eyes he blamed himself. She touched his arm lightly. "Don't. This is not your fault." He nodded slowly, but Lyra knew he wasn't convinced. The machines grew louder. A large shadow appeared behind the smaller units. A giant machine the size of a transport vehicle entered the corridor. Its arms decorated with rotating blades. Its eyes glowed brighter than the others. Lyra whispered, "A command unit." Aaron stepped in front of her again. "They're bringing out their leaders. They really want me." The command unit raised its arms and unleashed a powerful shockwave. Aaron braced himself and expanded the shield. The attack hit the shield like a storm hitting a fragile roof. Cracks of blue energy spread across its surface. Lyra shouted, "Aaron, fall back!" But he stood his ground. "If it passes this point, it will reach the civilians behind us. I can't let that happen." The shield absorbed the attack. But Aaron staggered. His knees bent slightly. Lyra caught him before he fell completely. His heartbeat sounded uneven through the suit. His breathing was rough. Lyra's voice trembled. "How long can you keep using the suit?" Aaron hesitated. "Not long." That answer filled her with fear, not the fear of losing the battle, but the fear of losing him. Another wave hit the shield. Aaron cried out this time, quietly but painfully. The shield collapsed for a split second. Lyra quickly raised her spear and struck the command unit to push it back. Then she grabbed Aaron by the shoulders. "We need to run. Now." He didn't argue this time. Together they sprinted down the corridor, turning corners and moving deeper into the underground network. The machines followed, their metal bodies scraping against the walls. Lyra led the way, using her memory of old colony maps. They reached a wide chamber filled with old storage crates. Dust covered everything. Broken lights flickered above them. Lyra shut the heavy sliding door behind them and activated the manual lock. She turned to Aaron. "Sit down. You need to rest." "I can't," he said, shaking his head. "They're coming." She stepped closer, her voice firm but soft. And you're collapsing. Your heart is racing too fast. If you push more, you might. He lifted a hand to stop her. I'm fine. His legs suddenly weakened, and he had to lean against the wall. Lyra moved instantly, holding him upright. Her voice softened. Aaron, please don't hide the truth from me. Not now. Tell me what this suit does to you. He exhaled slowly. The blue light around his chest dimmed. Every activation of the halo core uses a part of my life energy. The more power I use, the more it drains me. If I use too much, my heart might stop. Lyra felt the world freeze for a moment. She stared at him, unable to breathe. He continued, his voice quiet, as if ashamed. That's why I left my old life behind. That's why I wanted peace. I didn't want to be something dangerous. I didn't want to disappear early. Lyra's eyes filled with emotion. Then why use it today? He looked at her, and his expression softened in the way only he could make it. Because you were out there. Because people were dying. Because I couldn't stand by. While you faced everything alone, Lyra placed her forehead gently against his. You're not alone, Aaron. Not anymore. And I won't let you sacrifice yourself. Before he could answer, the ground shook violently. The machines were breaking through the door. The chamber lights flickered again. Lyra stepped away and took her spear. They're coming. Aaron stood beside her, though he still swayed slightly. The suit hummed weakly. His shield was ready, but its glow was faint. Lyra saw all of that. She knew he was near his limit, but she also knew something else. Aaron never broke a promise. And he had promised to protect her, no matter what. The door burst open with sparks. Machines poured into the room, their red eyes focused on Aaron. Aaron raised his shield. Lyra raised her spear. Side by side, they fought. She moved with speed and strength, striking machines down with precise blows. Aaron blocked every attack that came near her, his shield glowing brighter every time she was in danger. Even weak, he protected her. But then the command unit arrived, pushing aside smaller machines with its huge frame. It charged its largest energy cannon, aiming directly at Aaron. Lyra gasped. Aaron, move! He didn't. The cannon fired. Lyra lunged toward him, trying to shield him, but the energy blast hit Aaron's shield first. The suit glowed blindingly, then exploded with light. The entire chamber lit up like a star. Lyra screamed his name. The machines collapsed, and when the light faded, Aaron was on his knees, barely conscious, the suit smoking around him. Lyra ran to him, catching him before he fell to the ground completely. His eyes were half open. His voice was weak. Lyra, I can't hold the shield anymore. She held him tightly, fear gripping her heart. Don't speak. I'm here. Just stay with me. But the machines were regrouping again in the hallway. More footsteps echoed. More danger was coming. And Aaron had almost no strength left. She whispered, her voice breaking. We have to escape. But how? When you can't even stand. Aaron's eyes opened slightly. A faint, painful smile touched his lips. There is one more chamber, he said weakly. A place the machines don't know about. I can guide us. But you must carry me. Lyra nodded instantly, tears forming in her eyes. I'll carry you anywhere. Quote, she lifted him gently, holding him close as the suit's dim lights flickered weakly. The machines marched toward them again. Lyra took a deep breath, holding her wounded husband tight. She whispered, I won't let them take you. And she ran into the darkness of the tunnels, carrying the man the machines feared, the man she loved, the man who had protected everyone, but now needed her more than ever. Lyra ran through the dark tunnels, with Aaron held tightly in her arms. His body felt heavier with every step she took, not because of the suit, but because his strength was fading fast. The blue lights on the halo core flickered weakly, like a dying candle struggling to stay alive. The machine's metallic footsteps echoed behind them, growing louder, faster, more aggressive. They were not stopping. They wanted Aaron. Lyra pushed forward, her breath shaking. her heart pounding hard in her chest. She looked down at him. His eyes were half open, trying to stay awake, trying to guide her. She whispered to him between breaths, "I'm here. I'm not letting you go. Just stay with me a little longer." The tunnel curved sharply. Aaron raised a trembling hand, pointing weakly. "Left. Take the left path. There's a hidden door." Just ahead, Lyra took the turn without slowing, even as the machines smashed deeper into the tunnels. Dust fell from the ceiling. Pipes rattled. Lights burst one by one. The colony beneath the ground sounded like it was breaking apart. At the end of the tunnel, Lyra saw a smooth rock wall, completely unmarked, completely ordinary. "There's nothing here," she said with panic. Aaron shook his head slowly. "Put my hand on the wall." Lyra pressed his hand gently against the stone. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the symbol on his palm glowed faintly, and the wall shimmered. Hidden circuits inside reacted to his touch. The stone separated into two sliding panels, revealing a narrow passageway behind it. Lyra didn't waste a second. She rushed inside, and the door closed behind them just as the machines reached the tunnel corner. In the darkness of the hidden chamber, glowing lines slowly lit up along the walls, ancient human technology untouched for hundreds of years. The room was quiet, peaceful even, like a sanctuary made of soft blue light. Lyra laid Aaron gently on the smooth floor. She knelt beside him and touched his face, her fingers trembling. "Aaron, look at me. Stay awake." He opened his eyes with effort. "You made it," he whispered. She nodded, though tears were starting to fill her eyes. "Of course I did. You guided me. Now tell me, what is this place?" Aaron took a slow, painful breath. "This is the heart chamber, the oldest part of the Halo core. It's meant to protect key carriers. This place can restart the suit." "One," Lyra's hope jumped. "Restart it? Then you can keep fighting?" He shook his head weakly. "Restart the suit? Yes, but not me. My energy is almost gone. Even if the suit wakes again, I might not." Lyra felt her heart squeeze painfully. She grabbed his hand. "No. You are not leaving me. You hear me? You are not." Aaron smiled gently, even in pain. "I didn't plan to. I just wanted to protect you." Before Lyra could answer, the chamber walls vibrated. The machines were trying to break through the hidden door. Their heavy bodies slammed against the stone. Cracks began forming along the wall. Lyra stood up instantly, fury and fear rising inside her. "They found us." Aaron looked toward the ceiling, where an old crystalline device slowly lowered itself. "Lyra, place my hand on that crystal." She lifted him again with care and raised his hand toward the crystal. When his fingers touched it, the entire chamber lit up at once. Bright blue lines shot across the floor and ceiling. The suit around Aaron responded, glowing brighter than before. His eyes widened from the sudden surge of energy. The chamber spoke with a calm voice. Halo core reset initiated. Lyra felt hope, but also fear. The lights surrounded Aaron's body like swirling waves. They lifted him gently from her arms and held him in the air. The process looked peaceful, but his face twisted in pain. He groaned softly. "Lyra, don't come close. It's dangerous." She stepped back, hands clenched. "I'm not leaving you." The chamber continued resetting the Halo core. But outside the hidden room, the machines broke through layer after layer. A huge crack split across the door. If they entered now, Aaron would not survive the interruption. Lyra gripped her spear tightly. If she had to fight alone, she would. For Aaron, for the colony, for everything he protected. The door finally exploded open. A swarm of machines rushed inside, followed by a massive command unit larger and stronger than the previous ones. Its red eyes locked immediately on Aaron, floating in the center of the chamber. Lyra stood between them and shouted, "You will not touch him." The machines charged. Lyra ran forward too. She fought like she had never fought before. Her spear moved with perfect precision. striking machine after machine. She jumped, rolled, fought through pain, through fear, through smoke and sparks. She did not think about herself, only about the man behind her, who had given everything for others. A machine swung a heavy arm toward her. She blocked it, but the force sent her sliding back. She coughed, stood again, and kept fighting. Sparks burned her arms. Her armor cracked open. Her breathing became hard. But she refused to fall. The machines pushed her to the edge of the chamber. She stabbed one, then another, but more kept coming. The command unit charged its main cannon, the same deadly weapon that almost destroyed Aaron before. Lyra's heart froze. "No," she whispered. She tried to run toward it but slipped. She hit the ground hard. The cannon aimed at her chest. The machine prepared to fire, but before the beam could launch, the entire chamber burst with blinding blue light. A deep humming echoed through the air, louder than anything before. Every machine froze. Their red lights flickered. Aaron floated down from the crystal. Slowly. His body now calm. His eyes glowing bright blue. The suit around him looked renewed, as if transformed. Energy flowed around him like a living river. He stepped onto the floor with steady feet, the ground glowing beneath him. Lyra stared in shock. "Aaron?" He looked at her with gentle, steady eyes. "I'm here." The machines turned toward him instantly. The command unit fired its cannon at him without delay. A thin beam shot out, but the moment it touched Aaron's shield, the beam dissolved like mist in sunlight. Aaron raised his hand. "Enough." His voice echoed like a calm thunder. A wave of harmonic energy swept through the entire chamber. Every machine, big or small, froze in place. Their red eyes dimmed. Their weapons lowered. Their bodies collapsed one by one, as the ancient human signal rewrote their functions. Sparks flickered across the floor as they powered down completely. The command unit resisted for a moment, but then its lights faded too. Silence filled the chamber. Lyra stared at Aaron, unable to speak for a moment. Slowly, he walked toward her. The blue energy around him softened until it disappeared. He knelt beside her and touched her cheek softly. "I told you," he said with a weak smile. "I didn't plan on leaving you." Tears filled her eyes. She pulled him into her arms. "Don't ever do that again. You scared me." He hugged her back gently. "I'm sorry." She pulled away and studied him carefully. "Are you all right? Does the suit still hurt you?" Aaron looked down at the faint glow around his chest. "The chamber changed something. It no longer drains my life. It works with me now." Lyra let out a breath of relief. "So you can keep living. You're safe." He smiled. "I'm safe because you protected me." She shook her head. "No. We protected each other." Above them, the chamber lights dimmed to normal levels. The danger was gone. The machines would not attack the colony again, and the halo suit no longer threatened Aaron's life. They had survived. Lyra took his hand and looked into his eyes. "Let's go back home." Aaron nodded softly. Together, as they walked out of the chamber hand in hand, the colony lights slowly returned. Rescue teams entered the tunnels, cheering when they saw the two of them alive. People gathered around them, grateful, shocked, emotional. But Aaron didn't let go of Lyra's hand even once. He was gentle. He was quiet. He was peaceful. But powerless? Never again. The entire colony now knew the truth. Her human husband was gentle. But when the world needed him, when she needed him, he became the strongest protector the galaxy had ever seen.